How's it going, everybody? This is TheRedHeadGamer, and I would like to welcome you back to this part of my Kaiserreich playthrough as Mexico. So anyway, as you can currently see, we just took out the Union States and the USA, and the only thing that stands in our way from total domination of the United States of America currently is the combined syndicates of America and the Pacific States of America. And New England, but nobody really cares about New England because they're just up there in the corner hanging out, doing whatever they do. So we're gonna currently leave them alone for now. But right now, I have to decide whether or not I'm going to attack the syndicates or the Pacific States first. It's a very difficult choice. One's green and one's red. One's syndicate, and the other one's just, I don't know. I think they were market liberal or something. I don't know. I didn't even pay attention to what their government was. But that's not really important right now, because either way, we're still going to invade them and take over their land and, you know, put a big old Mexican flag up in their front yards and laugh hilariously. Well, not really hilariously, because that's not even a word, is it? I have to check that out in the dictionary, maybe. I doubt it's actually a word, though, but I'll laugh with a great amount of happiness. Let's put it that way. That sounds a lot better and more sophisticated than just, you know, hilariously. So as you can see, all these little nations are popping out of nowhere now, and they're acting like they're awesome. Oh, look at us! We just got independence! And we're all like, nobody really cares, bro, so can you please stop with this bullcrap? And they're like, no, I am amazing. And I'm like, I don't care, man. That is simply how the world works in this game, I suppose. You really can't do much to stop these communists from doing whatever they want, because no matter what you do, they're just gonna do it. So you have to kind of force them through force of arms. That's why we have a giant military. Giant militaries are amazing. If somebody says they don't like a giant military, they're afraid of being oppressed. And if they're afraid of being oppressed, then, well, they can't be a part of my nation, because, you know, if they're afraid of being oppressed, they won't really like living in my nation. And because my nation is so awesome, being oppressed is the way to go. It's simply the best way to run a nation in this game. I love being a dictator. I mean, what are you gonna do about it? You gonna, like, breathe air? Or you gonna send me, like, hate messages or, like, post comments in the video like, LOL, dictators are for losers. I mean, haha, yeah. You killed my pride, good people, but you can't kill my great spirit. For I know the great demon lord of video gaming watches over me. As you can tell right here, the United States is still getting bombed. It's like they have that one province and they're just holding on for dear life because they don't want to fall. And you gotta admire their spirit, but either way, they're still gonna fall because, you know, I mean, just look at the syndicates. They're all like ravenous jackals descending upon the corpse, which is the old USA. And so is the Pacific States. I mean, come on, look at that. They pretty much took the entire western part. Look at all the... Oh, Vietnam just formed. I think that was Vietnam. I didn't read it. But if not, that's fine with me. I'm simply gonna sing a song about cake. But not really, but... I had to teach some guy I was working with today how to open up a vending machine. It was pretty weird, to say the least. I mean, I gave him money, you know, because he was, like, starving, and I was like, okay, dude, go to the vending machine. And he's like, okay, man, I'll pay you back tomorrow. And I'm like, alright. And then he comes back, like, 2 minutes later, and he's all like, dude, how do you work this thing? I'm like, are you serious? So I went out there, and I put the money in, and it's one of those vending machines that doesn't automatically disperse the stuff. It's one of those vending machines where you, like, you know, hit a button and it spins around and you have to open it up and pull out whatever you're gonna get and then you let it shut. And I did that, and then he just looked at me like I performed black magic or something, and I just blew up a building in front of him with my mind. He was like, dude, how'd you do that? I'm like, are you serious? It's not freaking difficult, bro. So that's why every time I sleep at night, I think to myself, you know what? I hope I don't roll off my bed onto the floor, because that would be a very unpleasant experience. Could you just imagine rolling onto the floor and then, like, landing on something, like, let's say your backpack, or maybe, like, I don't know, your toothbrush, or maybe it's just like the ground, but either way, it still hurt, and you really don't want to deal with that, especially when you're sleeping and you aren't really defending yourself, you know, and you just roll off, and then your body's all limp, and it hits full force because you didn't really have enough time to flinch or like defend yourself or whatever you were trying to do, and it kind of hurts, so you kind of sing a song about how, like, there's cars outside your window and they're just driving down the highway or the road or whatever it is, I don't even know anymore. But there's still a nice cornfield outside, and I look at that cornfield every day and I think to myself, will that cornfield ever be gone? And the real question is the real answer is, good people, is no, that cornfield will never be gone. Unless we get nuked or something, but I ever doubt that will happen. Or at least, I hope that will never happen. I'm pretty sure it never will, though. I mean, why the heck would they bomb my state out of all the states? I mean, sure, we got the highways and, you know, we're in the middle, but come on now, is that really a reason to nuke a state? Okay, maybe it is, but still. I'm not a military genius, forgive me, good people. I don't exactly take into consideration all your strategic lingo and your fancy smancy words for deployments and, you know, your strategies. I mean, who the heck calls, like, a formation the Swan Formation? Like, who thought of that name? Like, did he just, like, sit down one day and be like me, and he looked out his window and he was like, dude, what should I call this, man? And then he, like, drank a little bit of, like, tea, and he looked out his window and he just saw the most beautiful white swan he's ever seen in his life because he lives out near a lake. And he was like, dude, that is what I'm gonna name this formation. It's gonna be called the Swan Formation. And then he wrote it down in, like, his little journal or his diary or, like, this big old blueprint or this, you know, whatever he had at the time. Or maybe even had a typewriter in front of him. I don't know. I'm not, like, you know, psychic. I don't know exactly what he did that day, but I know he did something, and whatever he did, he put it down on, you know, something he could read later. And that's what happens. You know, it's very complex, I understand. Not really. I mean, I like pie. Pie is delicious. You know, the easiest way to pass English class is just to write about what you like. I mean, I have to do this essay, and all I've been writing about is pie. Like, seriously, I've been passing college English by writing about pies, and, you know, all the various pie toppings, and the pie fillings, and the pie crusts, and the stuff you can put on pie. I mean, come on now, people. It's amazing. You know? And you know you're awesome if you can write a whole essay about apple pie. That just proves how American you are. Okay, maybe not always. And maybe you're European and you know a lot about apple pie, but still. Shut up, I'm trying to do a stereotype right here. And you're kind of killing the mood. Yeah, you know who I'm talking to. I know you guys are watching this and you're all like, wow, seriously? It's like, yeah, seriously, bro. I'm not even joking around right now. I just got done eating a cookie, man. A chocolate chip cookie. You know how amazing those are? When you're a starving college student, chocolate chip cookies taste amazing. It's like somebody took the best chocolate chip cookie, dipped it in a very addictive substance, and then stuck it in you. And then after it got inside your body, that addictive substance started reproducing in your brain, making you reliant upon its, like, crazy hallucinations or, like, whatever molecules. I don't know, I'm not a scientist. Do I look like a scientist? I mean, seriously, do you think I could stand up in front of a group of people and just, like, give a whole rant about how come gravity pulls the Earth down and why, like, in 1,000 or, like, 10,000 years the world's gonna end because, you know, all the hydrogen in the sun is gonna die out, and then it's gonna explode and everybody on Earth will just be, like, vaporized like a really bad sci-fi movie. It's gonna be like the power of 20 nuclear bombs or something like that, and then everybody's going to die and, like, people are crying, and now people are thinking about the future generations as I'm talking about this, and they're, like, freaking out like I just told them some crazy War of the Worlds type story, you know? Speaking of that, I like pie. I know I've said that a million times already, but I'm just trying to get that point across. Pie is amazing. I know a lot of people hate it when, you know, people say stuff to them over and over again, but it's the best way to get something imprinted into your mind, especially if I sneak it in, like, multiple times. I mean, you might not have noticed this by now, but I've said, like, pi 20 times throughout this entire video, and none of you have probably noticed every single time I've said it. No, I'm joking. I've only said pi, like, what, 8, 9 times? I don't know. But still, it is simply that amazing. So, yeah. I have a napkin in front of me. Well, paper towel, napkin. It's the same thing in my opinion, but you know, somebody's gonna be all smart and be like, no, it's not. There's a scientific difference between a paper towel and a napkin. One is much firmer than the other, and one is created through so-and-so fibers, while the other is created by this. And then they'll go into like a long explanation about how back in the day, napkins and paper towels fought a long-lasting war, and now people, like, you know, have to choose one or the other, or else they're like a crazy communist or a fascist or maybe a Republican or Democrat or something, I don't know. It's some very long, complex political history, which no one really cares about. Actually, a few people care about it because, you know, they talk about it, but you know how it goes. Yeah. I love streetlights. Okay, streetlights are just sitting there. Actually, that's not a street light. Well, some of them are street lights, but in the distance, there's like this one building, and it uses orange lights, and you can see it, and it's like, whoa, that is awesome, because, you know, it has orange lights, and that is what makes it amazing. I love street lights, but I also love stoplights. I mean, stoplights are like street lights' younger brother, and they never, like, ate much, so they never grew as tall. But, you know, stoplights are amazing. I mean, they have different colors, dude. I mean, they're not just orange like their big bro, you know? They're like freaking red, yellow, and green. Tell me that is not amazing. And some of them even have other colors. Sometimes. Or maybe it's just I'm tired and, you know, green all of a sudden looks blue or teal. Or maybe it's actually a government conspiracy to mess with me, and every day they like change the light bulbs, so I think it's a different color, but then when I go to bed and wake up the next morning they change it back, so it's like the same thing. And they're slowly trying to drive me insane so I can rant on for hours about these weird conspiracy theories that really have no dirt, water, weight behind them. And yeah, now that's a great conspiracy, ain't it? You wanna know what else? They're also talking about the zombie apocalypse a lot, so you're unaware of the vampire walrus apocalypse. You've never even heard of the vampire walrus apocalypse unless I've mentioned it, haven't you? You know why? Because they will never tell you it's gonna happen, so you'll be unprepared, and when the vampire walruses do come on the land in search of victims, well, you won't be prepared, because I'm sure vampire walruses can't be killed in the same fashion as zombies. And why is the Pacific States still bombing me? I mean, it's annoying. Ain't like they have much of a chance anyway. I'm gonna annex them one way or another, and they really don't want me annexing them when I'm mad. Joining a Canadian alliance.